This is briefly what we need to go through in the UK to get a Daytona Coupe through the IVA test. It's got another week before it goes into its test, so there may be some things I've missed. It may fail, but this is a brief description of what we have to do to get a car registered in the UK. So, starting under the bonnet, we have to prove the year of the engine. If we can't, it has to pass brand new emissions tests. But I can prove this is a 1967 engine block, so it has to pass 1967 emissions, which is why it's got carburettor, new catalytic converters. If it has a fuel injection after about 1989, 1990, you have to have catalytic converters in order to pass. So that's why the old engines are worth quite a bit more money to pass, because they just don't have to worry about the emissions for the tests. All the wiring, fuel lines, brake lines have to be held and clipped properly at least every 30 centimeters. So all the wiring at minimum of 30. Brake lines, fuel lines. The fuel lines and brake lines have to be proven that they are capable of the fluid that they're going to carry, so they have to either have a special E number on them, or you have to have a receipt for the purchase of them. So if they're braided in stainless like these are, then I'd have to have proof of purchase that they are of the correct standard. The brake reservoir has to have a switch on it to say that with either a float level on it, and this has got a switch on it so I can test it, and a light on the dashboard to show that let's run that fluid. And there's a minimum requirement for how much fluid it can hold, and it has to be see-through so you can see how much fluid's in it. And the same sort of thing with the windscreen washer. So the windscreen washer has to be at least a litre, and I believe it has to be see-through so you can see how much fluid's in it. Other than that, I think that's about it underneath the bonnet. Oh, it's got to be a chassis number, a VIN number welded, seam welded onto the chassis on the right hand side, driver's side in the UK, and a manufacturer's plate as well. It's got to be riveted on over there. I'll put it. I've got a funny feeling that's on the wrong side, but we'll find out. Chassis plate's got to have the VIN number and the manufacturer's name on it. Okay, moving on to the external bodywork. The headlight has to have a certain pattern. We only allowed one indicator on the front per side. Grill in the front, so you're not allowed to put your hands in there and touch anything. Basically, they have a size of a fist type ball that they put into the bodywork. If they can get the ball in anywhere or touch anything with the ball, then it has to have a minimum radius of 5mm. So basically put a grill there so they can't get the ball in inside the. We can't put the driver lights in either, that's too low to pass. So I've put some grommets or little things over the bolts that hold the bracket to the bonnet. And the other headlight hole, indicator hole, I've left a rubber grommet in there so that'll pass because it's nice and soft and rounded. Same as the bonnet. Top of the bonnet, that's got a grill in it so you can't get your hands in there to fail that. Moving on to the side indicator, repeater, has to be seen from 5 or 10 degrees, 5 degrees, something like that, either side, front and back of the vehicle, which that will be seen there. Wheels, no spinners, just not allowed. So they'll be okay, they should pass. Tyres have to have a specific E number on them, which I believe they have. Exhausts, again, must be rounded. I've riveted these, so I've put some wrap on them to hide the rivets. Also got to be less than 99 decibels at 2/3 of the engine speed. So that's that. The original exhausts that come with the factory 5 won't pass. These ones are completely full of wadding, so they're 1 metre long, 6 inches wide, and they're full of wadding. And I think I got the sound down to about 83 decibels, so that should pass, hopefully. Side mirrors, got to be able to be seen. Certain parts of behind, I think it's 10 metres by 2 metres away. So there's field of vision, they check that. So there's also a minimum size for the wing mirrors and a rear view mirror. Windscreen wipers, got to have windscreen wipers for the UK. If you've got a windscreen, it's also got to have a heater and windscreen washers. On the rear, the lights have to be square, so we've got brackets, little adapters made to level them up so they're nice and square. Same as we have to have a reflector, fog light, reverse light. And a number plate light. Fog light has to have a certain E number on it. Has to be square to the back of the vehicle. Fuel filler. The original Le Mans type fuel fillers won't work. Won't pass. Has to have a has to be tethered, or the key has to stay in it if you unlock it. The glass front and rear screens have to have a certain E number on them, or an A number, A1 I believe it is for the American standards, or an E number on it. This is, both of these will pass. I've put a trim around the edge of the glass, but I wasn't certain if that's set down far enough, and I didn't want it to fail, so there's a little rubber trim I put around the glass. Windscreen has the relevant E number on it. Okay, interior, everything has to be quite soft, and so the underneath of the dashboard has to have is a minimum radius. I think it's 19 millimeters. Has to be in case you catch your legs on it in the case of an accident. Steering wheel has to be collapsible. Also, minimum radius is of 5 millimeters on the steering wheel. So I've had to put some trim on these. I don't think this bit's going to pass, so I'm going to I'm hoping to 3D print something that go over here to cover that with a minimum radius of 5 millimeters. Put a cover over the gear lever. There's a little fake pull-up thing on the gear lever. I've put a cover over that, so hopefully that'll pass. Some rubber O-rings on the handbrake lever. Lowered the handbrake as low as it'll go. Modified that. Dashboard, made the dashboard nice and soft and round. This dashboard will come out after the IVA. The top part will stay, but this flat part at the front I'll replace. It's just made so this is nice and soft and rounded, using cheap shitty switches just to get through the IVA. Vents on the windscreen have to be prove that it could be adequately ventilated and heated the screen to clear it. Rear view mirror. Under here there's a chassis rail under here that's got some soft trim put on it to hold it so as you can't hurt your legs, and that'll be a minimum radius. Seats have to have a headrest on them built into them, so that as the seats move backwards and forwards, the headrests move backwards and forwards. If you want to have a fixed seat, you can have a fixed headrest, but there's so many minimum requirements for that. Well, it's just not, it's rather complicated, so it's easier to fit seats with built-in headrests. Seat belts have to have an E marking on them and be easy to get in and out of. Door latches have to have a double catch, so if you didn't quite shut the door properly, it stays stuck shut. Instruments, all the switches need to be easily recognised, labelled as to what they do. Has to have a horn, certain rates for the indicators, flash rates. I'm not 100% certain if that end is going to pass. It's just under 5mm, that radius. So I may I'm going to buy some more wrap and put some more wrap around there just to try and radius that a little bit more. I do have concerns about in here, this edge. But if I put any trim on that, it's going to melt, so I don't know. Certain things you just got to put it in and just see what happens, I think. Just hope and pray it passes, but expect it to fail on something and fix it. So hopefully we'll go through it, see what happens. It's booked in about a week's time. So I'm allowed to drive it down there. Oh, no scoops, they're not allowed. No spoiler, that's not allowed, I don't think. I think that'd impair your rear vision. Scoops wouldn't pass, they wouldn't be the right radius. So yeah, see what happens. If I've missed anything, then I'll update it when it goes through.